Hello everybody and welcome back to the channel for a very exciting day for the LEGO City and the LEGO Room. We're taking one step further into essentially quote-unquote completing the LEGO City here. So basically, obviously, there are two big areas that are not lit up. Well, technically three, but we'll talk about that in a second. The Avengers Tower, obviously the biggest, and the police station. They're both nestled back there in the corner, and they both perfectly fit there, hence their location. Unfortunately for me, they're going to have to be lit, and I'm extremely excited for that. I've been waiting and talking about this for months now, and I've just been working a lot on the Harry Potter project, and now that I've essentially gotten that mostly finished for now, and I've gotten it to a point where I'm really proud of it and really happy for it, happy with it, I can step now back to the city and finish some things up. So last time we lit up the photo center over here in the recording studio, and we lit up the gym / sports center, and then added some stoplights that actually are on a timer system. So the city is doing great. I love it. I think it looks amazing. The one-way road, obviously both of those buildings were custom. We have the little corner modular building there. We have the SIT complex, which needs a lot more love and work. But today we're going to be lighting up the modular police station. Now, this is going to be a bit of a bear of a project, and I took a couple weeks off of work for a vacation with the family, and then I took another week off, like as part of those 2 weeks, to just do a bunch of recordings, relax, and basically July is like the relaxation month. So thankfully for that, I can get a lot of work done at home. So we just got done essentially repotting all of our plants, and we bought a bunch of new ones. So my little succulent and cactus farm in our living room is growing. So we got a lot of stuff done at home, and now I get to do a bunch of light kits. Now, obviously, them being on the backhand corner is tough for me, because now I have to peel out both of these buildings here, being the assembly square, and I can probably keep the photo center store off to the side, just because I only need to essentially lift up that back pole and drag the police station out, and then do the bricks backs kit for it. The Avengers Tower, I am so unbelievably unexcited to get out of there. In fact, I'm most likely going to be ripping it out when I do the police station, and then just doing the Avengers Tower after. I just kind of want the police station in and done. Actually, you know what? None of that makes sense. I'm going to call an audible. We're doing the Avengers Tower first. Why would I rip out the police station and assembly square? You know, we're keeping this opening. I'm going to do the Avengers Tower first, put that back there, and then do the police station. You know what? That makes so much more sense. So, hey everybody, today, so yeah, we're going to do the Avengers Tower first, and I'm super excited about that. They're both a bear of a project. The police station is obviously a whole lot easier than the Avengers Tower, but the Avengers Tower needs two parts. So, actually, yeah, you know what? I'm ready. We're going to be MILS plating the Avengers Tower today, and then doing the lighting kit for it. Perfect. Absolutely perfect. Easy peasy. Normally, I do a two-part for MILS plating giant things. However, I think we're just going to do a little two-part adventure here in one video. So we're going to be upgrading the Avengers Tower in terms of its base plate. We're going to be turning that into a MILS plate today, which I'm incredibly unexcited for in every humanly possible way. And then we're going to be adding the massive light kit to it as well. So bit of an audible there, but quite literally in real time, I realized it would have been an error for me to do the police station first, and then just have that sitting around, and then do the Avengers Tower after. So here's a sneak peek of the city before I absolutely probably break and demolish some $300 building and have to go from there. So thank you guys so much for joining me for another build. Obviously, this opening is a little odd, but hey, you know what? Nothing says content creator for LEGO like switching up a big project on the fly. So thank you guys so much for joining me for another huge build. I'm going to rip the Avengers Tower out of here now. Hopefully not break anything, body part or otherwise, And then essentially we'll be setting up the next couple videos by taking the police station out, getting the Avengers Tower ready, and I already have the custom MILS plate built for it, so honestly it's more of just transplanting it from there to there. So thank you guys so much for joining me. Like, comment, subscribe if you can, it helps the channel out a lot, and I'll see you in a little bit, folks. Alright, well, we've made it to this stage of the video without a tragedy. The Avengers Tower is officially out of its little home in there, and honestly, wasn't too bad. The assembly square, the way I have the city rigged up light-wise, is essentially block by block. All runs off of either its own USB hub or its own like port connection system. So the police station not being attached, the assembly square, and the photo center, everything was just kind of like on its own little island. So all I had to do was rip out the police station, the assembly square, and then slide this right back out. So honestly, not too bad. Now, the very top portion of this tower, like the actual like little radio tower in Dr. Selvig, I'm probably going to have to ditch just because I cannot fit them on a MILS plate. It's just a little bit too tall for my setup. I'm really dreading moving this. I really don't want to because, my God, is it delicate, and it's extremely stressful, and I honestly don't know how this move is going to go, so we're going to see how well I can actually transport this to this, because with most modular buildings, you just break off the top and the middle and all that good stuff, and then you essentially kind of destroy, but don't have to, the bottom floor, slap that on a MILS plate, and you're done. For the Avengers Tower, not quite. This removes, you know, right here, so you can actually see the inside, and then that's it. So it's gonna be a little bit tough. It is not gonna be enjoyable in any way to try and do, but we're gonna do our very best to get that peeled off onto here. I'm assuming I could watch a video of somebody doing this, but you know, we live life dangerously and vicariously here, so we'll see what happens. In addition to that, if you watched my Daily Bugle video, I essentially took away all of the battle scenes. This one obviously has a ton, specifically the Hulk sitting right in the center here. You notice all the ground floor is actually normal already. That's because I take away the battle scenes. I know some people love it in their city. I particularly don't. I like the buildings in the city. I don't need superheroes necessarily fighting in them. So I'm going to be removing the Hulk, the Chitauri ships, Scarlet Witch, Vision, Thor and Loki up top, Dr. Selvig, all that good stuff. And I'll be removing them and placing them in a custom Marvel display, which I'm probably going to show off in this video as well. But this is a very busy video and the first Marvel update in quite a while. So I'm excited to see it done. I'm not excited to do it. So let's just put it that way. I also have the wrong brick skit here. That's Barad-dur, which is coming up very soon. The Avengers Tower's down there somewhere. I'll figure it out. This video is a mess, just to start off already. This is what happens when you're extremely nervous for a big Lego project like this. So, by far and away, the biggest light kit I've ever done. It's terrifying. Very nervous to see this turn out, and hopefully don't break anything. So, hopefully this video goes pretty well. I'm nervous. You can hear it in my voice. I'm scared to actually move this to the MILS plate without it breaking, but hey, we've done bigger, right? No, we haven't. Alright, well, it's lit up. If I sound stressed in any way, my God, was this an experience? So, it looks great as a whole, but I don't like that it isn't just obscenely bright compared to everything else, and I'm going to do my best to kind of like show off every floor of it the best I can. But it was an experience and a half. Let's just put it that way. So obviously the brightest section is going to be right up here. You pretty much have just strip lights for the actual top of it with a couple 1x1 lights, or actually I should say 1x2 lights on each side that are going to be lit up for the actual landing beacon. Right up here, so the pilots know where they're landing so they don't actually hit the building. The Avengers logo is incredibly bright and obnoxious, and I absolutely love it. But from there on out, I have some complaints. We'll start with the elephant in the room. While I lower this down, you can see off to the side, yeah, you can see my computer monitor. Those are all fishing files on my GoPro from vacation and stuff like that. So I'm slowly editing like 6 videos in a few days, so it's been great. For fishing, elephant in the room. And I'm filming this without a tripod, so if it seems a little dark, I'm just trying to show off the lights. It's being run by a massive battery brick at the moment, just because I didn't feel like running a wire specifically for this set, just until it's done, and put it in the actual city. Elephant in the room. Was this enjoyable in any way? No. Not even a little bit. The MILS plate that I was worried about was the only easy portion of this. And I'm okay with the difficult build, but the instructions for this were horrendous in so many ways. I could not get the wires hidden on this, no matter what I did. So I'm going to see wires. You guys are going to see wires. It is what it is. Personally, it's not really going to bother me too much. All of the wires are essentially on the other side of it. And there are a ton that are meant to sit out. Thankfully, this is facing the wall, so I'm not going to ever really see it. And I can just build around that in the future, but it is definitely a big complaint that this, the cheaper one, and it was $100. So I'm just gonna, put that out there. If the $200 one is better than this, I would have been willing to buy the $200 version from Light My Bricks over Brixmax if it made that much of a difference. So I'll just put that out there. This is not easy. It was not enjoyable. I'm just going to, tell it to you straight. Some lighting kits are harder than others. Do not start with this in any way. Please don't make this your first lighting kit, or your second, or your third, or your 10th. This is like my 20th set, and it was still very difficult to try and get this to work. So take that in mind when you're trying to build a set like this. It's not easy, and it's not going to be fun. If this is the only thing you want to light up, fine, but just know you should start somewhere else. And while we're at it, I added a light down here. Just the gap between the museum and this was a little shallow in terms of lights, and I definitely like more street lamps that I could. So I have street lamps on each side. One is custom, one is not. I don't have enough light gray tile to actually do this, so I kind of used what I had and filled it in the best I could. It's not done, it's not perfect. I don't need it to be today. I can fill that in on my own. I did swap out some of the light gray for dark gray just on the actual steps and some of the actual surrounding areas to the building, just to kind of break the line of sight a little bit. Now for the actual lights itself, I said I would show off the best I could the actual interior, and here is where one of my next complaints is going to come from. They're all so different in terms of how bright they are, and yeah, fine, you can have different levels of brightness. That is what it is. The Daily Bugle does it so much better than this, in my opinion, because all of those floors are the exact same brightness. With this, it looks weird, in my opinion. Like, this floor has no strip lighting. It's literally just Ultron and Vision on that little board back there, and that lights up the whole room. Down here, the lobby, extremely bright. Up here, really cool arc reactor, strip light. Up here, different tone. It's blue, which is a little odd, but it's, again, it looks fine. It's just, if I'm going to nitpick about a couple things here, the instructions are number one, just because they are horrendous. But number two, it looks odd with all of the different lighting and all of the different shades and everything that goes in with it. Does it look like, am I glad it's done? Absolutely. This is a beacon in all of the Lego City. It looks awesome. It's just, it looks odd, in my opinion. I don't think it looks as good as the Daily Bugle. It's also a fragile set, so very much be careful when you're handling it. But that's about it. That is the end of my ranting and my review for this. I missed quite a bit of pieces trying to put this back together, just because I didn't feel like, going through with the fine-tune comb. Yeah, I'm shooting this at midnight, in case you can't tell. My phone is almost dead. My battery pack's dying. The drill battery that runs my entire city is almost dead. My computer's like 200 degrees Fahrenheit because it's been editing videos for nonstop. It's been a long day. It's been a long day, plus 4 hours of fishing and all the editing. So, if I sound tired, it's because I wanted to finish this before I went to bed, and I'm glad it's over. Now we're going to put this in the city. We're going to go quick overview of everything in the city and how this looks, and then I'll be preparing to do the police station probably tomorrow, depending on how much I fish tomorrow. So we're going to put this in the city. I just wanted to give you guys as honest of a review as I could, that it looks great, but the wire management is pretty bad. The instructions are atrocious, and it's just not my favorite in terms of lighting. Now let's put it in the actual city, guys, and let's see what we're looking at. Alright, well, it is certainly bright. That's for damn sure. So, basically, I like it. It does look cool. It does bother me, again, that the color shades are a little bit different. But other than that, it's fine, in my opinion. Like, it's not my favorite, but, you know, the Daily Bugle just looks better, in my opinion. Now, if you're wondering why there's a random wire there, it's because the adhesive on the wire holder, for like the actual USB cord for the lighthouse, above it, just continues to fall down. So I'm going to have to re-adhesive that. But essentially, plugging in the Avengers Tower was not horrible. It was a little bit annoying just because of the angle, but the Daily Bugle and the Avengers Tower actually run off of one individual little 4-hub system, and then it is wired underneath this table and then into a power inverter from Ryobi. And basically, if you haven't seen this before, I run this entire system essentially just by a battery. I use my 18-volt drill batteries that I actually use for all my Ryobi tools, and I'm not sponsored or anything, but the Ryobi One products are fantastic. I even use a little shop fan in here to help cool down the computer and cool down myself in the room. When I'm really like working on a lot of stuff, it definitely does get a bit warm in here. But you know what? That's the the perks of having an Alienware. You have a space heater come in Christmas time and winter. So thank you guys so much for joining me for another build. Sorry, I know this was a little bit more negative than some of my reviews, but I do like to call them as I see them occasionally, and you know, this one just is imperfect in my opinion. Now, there is one problem and then one exciting thing I'm going to talk about real quick. This road, this one-way road, I, built to kind of try and be perfect with it, but never could get perfect. Now I can. Apparently the Avengers Tower, before it was on a MILS plate, was just throwing some sort of an issue back there, and I kind of built the one-way road knowing that I'd have to change it at some point, and now it's time. So eventually I'm going to have to rework, and I'll try and angle it down a little bit better. I'm going to have to rework that one-way road because it essentially has a gap in the background, and it does not fit perfectly or poorly for me. So I'm gonna have to completely redo that stuff, and then I'm gonna wait until the police station's in, so that way all the modulars are actually in here and all the base plates are done, so that I can do a perfect one-way road, or at least as perfect as I can get it, in the space allotted. So hopefully we'll fix that up next time. And then last but not least, I want to give a little bit of a hint as towards what's happening with the Avengers Tower. Now, this goes back to the very first city build I ever did, which was actually the smaller Avengers Tower, which you can actually see it on the Marvel shelf in the top left-hand corner. And it's a little island of, actually, it's a mess right now. It's kind of the staging area for some of my projects, so it's filled with what was one-way roads and a police station right now. I wanted to do the agents theme as part of my city. I wanted to build an agents complex or an agents tower, and the Avengers A would work perfectly. So if I'm going to go away from having any Marvel actual characters in my displays, I want to convert the Avengers Tower, that big boy we just worked on, into an agents tower. And I would keep the same color scheme. I'm going to keep everything inside of it. Doesn't need that much adjusting. I essentially just want to build agents attached to it. I want to build stories inside. I want to have agents be the actual like superheroes fighting the supervillains and stuff like that. I think that would be awesome, and I would love to work in like the space police at some point and stuff like that. So there's lore coming to the Lego City, and I'm very excited about that. But the agents are coming soon. So thank you guys so much for joining me for another LEGO build. Like, comment, subscribe if you can. Helps the channel out a lot. And again, follow me on Instagram so you guys can get some sneak peeks into all of the work I do in the LEGO City outside of the channel and everything that goes into, essentially daily uploading this big stuff. So thank you guys so much for joining me, and I'll see you next time. Happy building, everybody.